here with Dr. Massey, principal of Forest Lake High School, and we are at another annual FFA Future Farmers of America Banquet. Can you tell me basically some accomplishments this year or how this has benefited the students?
Well, Sarah, first of all, I mean, this is the 78th annual FFA Banquet, so it speaks to the tradition, the long-standing history of this program, and this program can't be what it is without the instructors first and foremost, but then the previous members that continue to stay involved, the advisory board. The history in this community and the support from this community is substantial. And without that, we wouldn't be celebrating our 78th annual banquet tonight.
Well, I'm here tonight at the FFA Banquet with Mr. Kurt Schrader. He is the president or chair of the Forest Lake Agriculture Advisory Board. And can I just get an understanding of what the relationship is between the advisory board and the FFA students and organization here at the high school?
Well, the advisory board is a group of community members that come together 2 or 3 times a year, and our purpose is really to help guide the ag program. Agriculture has grown so much from just being farming and cows to being everything from food science to horticulture to greenhouse to landscape, all of those areas. And so we try to guide the program a little bit to keep it relevant and really current and up to date.
So who is on this advisory board in the community?
We have members of the community from the landscape industry, from greenhouse industries, food science industries. There are representatives from Land O'Lakes, various other companies. So a lot of good people come together and put their heads together trying to make the program the best it can be.
That sounds great. And how many people do you think are on the advisory board, Kurt?
I think currently we have about 12 members. And so, like I said, we come together a couple times a year and have some long meetings, but I think a lot of good comes out of them.
And then do you meet also with the teachers here at the high school?
Yep, the teachers will be in and part of that meeting, and we get FFA updates and we kind of hear about what the kids have been up to and stuff. And it's so much fun to see the kids because they're this time of year particularly, they're starting plants and growing seeds and taking cuttings and doing all the fun things that they learn to do in their greenhouse classes. And then throughout the spring up to open house, we'll actually produce greenhouse crops and have them for sale to the public on open house starting in May.
It just sounds like such a great program, and it's so nice to see that community involvement. Can you tell me a little bit about the benefits to students? And were you yourself an FFA member?
Actually, I wasn't an FFA member. I came later than that, but my background is in horticulture, and so I work with the students here in the greenhouse projects and that, and really enjoy. You watch these kids, and maybe it's the first time that they've ever transplanted seedlings or taking cuttings or growing something, from just a rooted cutting and growing it to a finished product, and it's a lot of fun because they're learning and yet actually going through the steps that a greenhouse production person would do and growing real crops.
And this is your first year as chair of the advisory board, is that right? Yep. I hear you have big shoes to fill.
I did. I just took over for a longstanding chair from our advisory committee, Fran Miron, and Fran has become a county commissioner here in Washington County, and so his time is getting stretched thin, and so it was my turn to step up and take over, and I'm going to try to do the best that I can do.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, and welcome to the FFA Banquet.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
All right, thank you.
I'm here with Representative Bob Detmer, who is here at the FFA Banquet. Is this something that you like to be at every year, Representative Detmer?
I've been coming to this banquet for quite a few years. Even before I was in the legislature, I was always invited to the banquet, and this is something that's. I like good food, number one, but it's enjoyable to. At the state capitol, when we saw the blue coats that come down the Capitol, I like coming back to the school where I spent a lot of years in here teaching, and to see the staff and also see the students. That the FFA provides so much for our community, and just the leadership that the kids learn, and being involved, being a servant in the community, and all the courses that they can take within that department. It's really prepares them for whether they go into business, whether they go on to college or a vocational school. It really prepares them for life.
And do you meet with them personally at the Capitol?
Yeah, they'll be coming down. We have FFA on the Hill Day coming up on the 27th of March. And so there'll be students from all over the state will be coming into the Capitol. And they'll be coming in my office. I'll probably meet them on the Capitol and try to bring some of them onto the House floor. And so it's a good time for the students.
And it's great to see that your support and also the support of the community. Why do you think it is that Forest Lake has one of the strongest chapters in Minnesota?
I think the school itself and the community itself supports and promotes it. I think you can only have a program so good within these walls of the school as if the administration is behind it. You bring in good staff, good teachers. Forest Lake has always had great instructors, good teachers, and they're always looking ways to improve their curriculum. And they say the FFA now is more than cows and plows. I mean, we only have a few farms that are around the area here, and many of these students are taking leadership courses within the program that it goes into all different areas in agriculture. And you see that 1/3 of our economy in Minnesota is agriculture. And it's not just farms, but it could be agribusiness and all different types of businesses. And so a lot of these students go on, they go to college. They might go into the ag school at the University of Minnesota or River Falls, Wisconsin, and either they go into education, teaching, or they go into agribusiness. So there's a lot of jobs opportunity in the state.
And it's nice to see the Forest Lake community get involved. There's a Forest Lake advisory agricultural group of community citizens that have agricultural-based businesses that get involved, and I think that's an asset to this group as well.
Yeah, I attended a meeting. It was kind of a think tank for agribusiness, and I know Mike Miron was there kind of conducting the meeting. And one thing we're finding out now, there's a shortage of agriculture teachers, because many of them, they go into college at the University of Minnesota to be a teacher, but then they're picked up by businesses. And so we're looking for students that really want to go into education and teach in the ag area.
That's interesting to know. Well, thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Well, I'm here with Karen Moorhead. She is a longstanding member of the school board, and nice to see you here this evening. Can you tell me a little bit about the FFA and just your experience and what you see the students learning and that sort of thing?
Well, I have a fun story that goes back way, way back. It was when Patrick Danager, who now has children here doing so well, was at a convention, and someone was all messed up with the Robert's Rules of Order, and he was just a kid. And he's sitting next to me, and he's going, oh, this is this. And I said, well, how do you know so much about it? And he said, FFA. So it's not just farming, the leadership qualities that they get. They've been such an inspiration to our buildings. Those kids won national awards. They're leaders. They go out in the community and they just show what FFA is all about. It's just leadership.
And Forest Lake High School has one of the strongest chapters in the state. And why do you think that is?
Because we have the best students and the best teachers and a group of parents as well. I think it's been so highly supportive, and that makes for success when you have everybody working together. And I think otherwise the teachers have just done an astounding job. We have national winners one after another. We're just revered. And the open house, I always wish everybody would come to the open house that they have in the spring, if we ever get spring,
right.
Because that's where they really showcase what they're doing. But with the flower arranging and the science that goes on there, it's just a little of everything, but it produces many, many leaders for our district.
And great to see so many community leaders out here tonight at the banquet and supporting FFA.
It is. It's just an amazing group of young people, and we want to make sure that we're all giving them the support they need to continue that success.
Thank you very much.
No, you're very welcome. Thanks for being here.
Well, I'm here with Ann Tozel, and she is an FFA advisor and teacher at Century Junior High, and she's responsible for the junior high program for FFA. Thanks for interviewing, and can you tell me a little bit about the program at the junior high? And it's fairly new, I understand.
Yes, we've had a junior high program for about 3 years now. When I started teaching here in Forest Lake, we expanded to the 8th graders. We've always had a 9th grade class, but they bust over to the high school. And so now we have an opportunity to kind of wiggle into the junior highs and get to know those students and those buildings. And the atmosphere that they have there, and it's really been a great experience for me, and I hope for the students as well. Right now I teach one semester at Southwest and the other semester at Century, so I get to know both buildings and both principals and all kinds of teachers, and especially all those wonderful students.
And then these students, how many are there, I guess, at the junior high level for FFA, and how is their program different from the senior high program?
The junior high program and the senior high program kind of work together. We have our meetings and some of our big events together, but we do special activities just for the junior high students as well. There's probably about 20 to 30 of our 120 to 150 membership FFA that are junior high students. And so it's growing as I get to know those 8th graders and they become 9th graders and they tell their friends about the 8th grade class. Then we get more kids in the 9th grade class. So it's been a great time to grow and expose more people to the importance of agriculture and the vital role it plays in our daily lives.
And I hear that the junior high kids have received some donations and have been working with the Mayo Clinic. Is that right?
Yes. When I first got hired here at Forest Lake, I was approached and was able to attend a teacher learning workshop at the Mayo Clinic. So I spent a week in Rochester and attended sessions every day and worked in the lab, and I got to wear a lovely white lab coat and goggles and latex gloves and all kinds of fun things, and I learned different laboratory procedures that now I bring into my classroom, and we're able to rent thousands of dollars worth of lab equipment for just a very small fee from the Mayo Clinic, and I'm able to teach my agri-science students some up-to-date, very key agriculture science pieces that they are doing at the Mayo Clinic and they're doing at other places around the state and around the country. And it's really a wonderful experience for them because they get to see how science is used in our agriculture field, and it exposes them to some different careers that are available to them. And of course the kids love to wear the goggles and the gloves and work with all this high-tech tools, and they tell me at the end of the unit, man, I really feel like a scientist.
Wow, that is so exciting, and it sort of gets those kids going and continuing with FFA in high school, and obviously, I mean, it helps them with just learning science and agriculture. I guess the other thing I wanted to ask you is the banquet tonight. Are there junior high students here?
Yes, I have several of my junior high students here from both buildings. A few of them are taking on some leadership roles. We have some 9th graders that I had as 8th graders and also as 9th graders that will be inducted as officers this evening. So we provide opportunities for students all along the way, no matter what their age, and hopefully throughout their FFA career they're able to build their leadership skills, grow personally, and really find where they're going to have some career success once they leave these high school doors.
Thank you so much, Ann. It sounds like just a great program.
Thank you for talking with me today and being here tonight.
Thank you. Well, I'm here with Mariah Daninger. She is this year's president of FFA. Congratulations, Mariah. Can you tell me how you feel tonight and how you feel about the accomplishments of FFA this year in particular?
Well, I'm very excited and very proud to be part of such a great FFA chapter. We're one of the top in Minnesota every year, and I'm just very excited for tonight to show the community what we've done throughout the years and to present our members with awards and show our appreciation towards everything that has been done throughout the past year.
Was it hard to get ready tonight? Was there a lot of preparation involved by your group?
There was many hours. I was actually chair of the committee that was working on preparing for tonight. And while it was all very busy, it's definitely all very worthwhile. So I'm very pleased and excited for how the night will turn out.
And this year in particular, how many students are involved in FFA?
There's around 100 students. We have a very large group ranging from 8th graders to seniors in our chapter.
And this year, are there any members that are going to or be part of the national FFA group or chapter?
Well, we're actually all considered in the National FFA organization. I know in our senior group, personally, I'm running for a state FFA office, and that's kind of the next step. If you decide, well, there's a chapter, and then region, and we have a couple who are running for a region office this year. The vice president of our chapter, as well as myself, are currently a region officer, and I hope to further that throughout the next year, serving at the state level.
And as a senior this year, is that right? As you leave the high school, what will you take with you from what you learned at through FFA all these years? Could you narrow that down in just a few points? I'm sure that's a difficult question, but
it is a very difficult question because there's so many opportunities that I've been blessed to have with since I joined 6 years ago. And I think one of the main things I'll take away is just the passion I have for agriculture. I'm going to the University of Minnesota Twin Cities to major in agriculture education, so I get to use all the skills and different sets that I've learned throughout my high school and FFA career, along with things like public speaking and some other contests I do are dairy evaluation, so I can use that with the animals part of teaching agriculture, and also parliamentary procedure is another thing that I learned that in the future I know that'll be very valuable with meetings and things like that. So that's one thing that the career development events we can do through FFA are extremely valuable and great to prepare us for the future. So I'm very excited to take all the connections with people I've learned or met through the state and nation and further that and just use everything I've learned through FFA, going to the U and hopefully becoming a high school agriculture teacher.
Wow. Congratulations, Mariah. It just sounds fabulous. And congratulations on being accepted at the University of Minnesota.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Well, I'm here with Mike Muron, and you are the advisor here at the high school, and you have been teaching FFA for how long now?
This is my 10th year.
And can you tell me a little bit about this year in particular, what stood out for you for FFA, if the students did something different or special or anything like that for the 78th annual year?
Sure. Yeah, we have a lot of outstanding students. We're fortunate to have a lot of great young people who become a part of our program. And each year they put a little different stamp, a mark, and I think that's why the FFA and the agriculture program here in Forest Lake is really celebrating 78 years of success, is because every group builds upon what the previous group of students did. This year, I think one thing that I'll hold to this group of students is really trying to engage more people in the program, spread out the leadership opportunities. They've really worked hard to engage committees and planning activities. So it's not just a small group of students who are providing all the leadership for everything, but allowing that to branch out, to get more young people involved, for them to become active and take ownership in what's happening. And that's really been a staple for them across the board this year in terms of whether it's this banquet and the number of people that have been involved in planning and preparing the banquet, or our open house that we're going to have on May 9th in the spring. The number of students who are engaged in those really large and significant events has expanded. And I think that helps a lot of people get involved and develop their leadership opportunities as well.
Right. Well, that sounds just fabulous. And then tonight at this dinner, it's great to see so many people out from the community, and you've worked hard to get ready for this banquet. After the banquet's done, what do you reflect on? How do you reflect on the evening and every year, and to see the students interact and to do their FFA ceremony and induction ceremony, is it? And then also to see the support from the community.
Well, it is a transition night for us as we install new officers, as we prepare to say goodbye to some seniors. While we do that in a formal way tonight, I always tell them that they don't get to leave until they actually graduate. I still need them for the next few months because there's so much knowledge and leadership in that group of graduating seniors. And so it is a transition evening for us. But what was really neat about this particular year, I received a lot of phone calls and emails this week from recent alumni who have offered to help. And so we have students who graduate and they said, it's our spring break. If you need something, let us know. We'll come back. And I've had some that have come back and helped with some details detailed things, some work, because they knew the system. But to have students, graduates who want to remain involved in something after they leave the high school, I think says something about the community engagement. And so as we reflect, I think that's one thing I'm going to take away from this year that's been really special. But certainly as you look out, you see so many community members that support agriculture, even in a suburban and urbanizing area, to understand the importance of food, fiber, and natural resources and the role that that plays in our community and our economy. It's certainly something to celebrate here in Forest Lake.
Well, congratulations on a great program.
I appreciate it. Thanks for coming tonight.
Thank you. Well, I'm here with Fran Muron, and he is a long-standing member of the community and an avid supporter of FFA, and also a past chair of the Forest Lake Agricultural Advisory Committee. Is that right?
It is.
Yeah. Can you tell me about what inspires you about FFA and just your involvement in it over the years, and the pride that you feel?
Well, I was from a family of 9 children, and all of my brothers were involved, including myself, with the FFA program here. So long history, with the program. My dad actually was involved in some adult farm management programs that was offered here in Forest Lake, back in the 1940s and 50s. So we've had a strong connection here for a long, long time. And then, I've got a daughter that teaches here. And a son that teaches here. And I've got another son that actually teaches in the Forest Lake School District, but teaches at the elementary school. So we've kind of got a strong connection here with the school and the school district. And then, I've served on the Ag Advisory Committee, I think, since back in the mid-1970s.
As chair, were you one of the first?
I've chaired the group for a long, long time. I stepped down here just recently because of my commitment with the county. And thought it would be a nice opportunity for someone else to have that opportunity to chair the program.
Can you tell me tonight just how you're inspired by the individual students? I mean, they have so much poise, so much confidence. They carry themselves so well. Do you think that it stems from FFA?
That actually is part of their training here. Leadership development, the whole issue of confidence and ability to speak is all part of the training here within the Ag program and the FFA program. And I think that's what's so unique about it. It's not only the learning context with respect to agriculture, but it's the whole service component, in serving your community, serving the fellow citizens and people within the community and even the broader community. And I think that's the legacy that really FFA leaves. It wasn't that many years ago when I served on the city council and was mayor of the city of Hugo that we had a city council, and this is in a growing community with a population of 14,000 now. At that time it was a little less. But we had 3 of our 5 city council members were former FFA members. So I think that, spells out the type of leadership and the public service that FFA instills in our young people today.
And great to see the community coming out tonight for the 78th annual FFA Banquet. Forest Lake has such a strong chapter.
They do, and what's ironic about it is we are in a very urban area, and for agriculture and the FFA program to remain as strong as it is, I think bodes well for this program and the leadership within the program. Forest Lake is ranked among the top chapters nationally. And a lot of people don't recognize that, but right here in a very urban area with deep agricultural roots, we rank within the top 10% nationally of all programs.
Wow, that's just fabulous. Fran Muron, thanks very much for talking to us tonight, and enjoy your evening.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it.
The auditorium will come to order. We are now holding the 78th Forest Lake FFA Chapter Banquet. Mr. Vice President, are all officers at their stations?
I shall call the roll of officers, determine if they're at their stations, and report back to you, Madam President. The Sentinel.
Stationed by the door.
Your duty's there.
Through this door pass many friends of the FFA. It is my duty to see that the door is open to our friends at all times and that they are welcome. I care for the meeting room and paraphernalia. I strive to keep the room comfortable and assist the President in maintaining order.
The reporter.
The reporter is stationed by the flag.
Why by the flag?
As the flag covers the United States of America, So I strive to inform the people in order that every man, woman, and child may know that the FFA is a national organization that reaches from the states of Alaska to Puerto Rico and from the state of Maine to Hawaii.
The treasurer.
Stationed by the emblem of Washington,
Your duties there.
I keep a record of receipts and disbursements, just as Washington kept his farm accounts, carefully and accurately. I encourage thrift among the members and strive to build up our financial standings through savings and investments. George Washington was better to serve his country because he was financially independent.
The secretary.
Stationed by the ear of corn.
Your duties there.
I keep an accurate record of all meetings and correspond with other secretaries wherever corn is grown and FFA members meet.
The advisor.
Here by the owl.
Why by the owl?
The owl is a time-honored emblem of knowledge and wisdom. Being older than the rest of you, I'm asked to advise you from time to time as a need arises. I hope that my advice will always be based on true knowledge and ripened with wisdom. Mr. Vice President, why do you keep a plow at your station?
The plow is a symbol of labor and tillage of the soil. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much. My duties require me to assist at all times in directing the work of our organization. I preside over meetings in the absence of our president, whose place is beneath the rising sun.
And why is the president so stationed?
The rising sun is a token of new era in agriculture. If we will follow the leadership of our president, we will be led out of the darkness of selfishness and into the glorious sunlight of brotherhood and cooperation. Madam President, all officers are at their stations.
Thank you. The secretary will call the roll of members.
There are 195 members and guests present.
Thank you. FFA members, why are we here? To practice brotherhood, honor agricultural opportunities and responsibilities, and develop those qualities of leadership which an FFA member should possess. May we accomplish our purposes. I now declare this, the 78th Annual Forest Lake FFA Chapter Banquet, duly open to the transaction of business or attention to any matters which may properly be presented. We now turn our attention to those students and community members who have played a significant role in our success. We begin with the parents, community leaders, and friends who we welcome to the role of honorary members. It is always a pleasure to receive honorary members into the FFA. The purpose of this ceremony is to recognize from time to time the efforts others have made in our behalf. Will the officers please take their places beside me, and Madam Secretary, will you please read the section of the National Constitution which provides for honorary membership?
Honorary membership. Farmers, school superintendents, principals, members of the boards of education, chapter advisors, teachers, staff members in agricultural education, business people, and others who are helping to advance the agricultural education and the FFA, and who have a majority vote of the members present at a regular meeting or convention.
Madam Secretary, will you please introduce those who are to receive this honor?
Madam President, members and guests, I am pleased to read the following names. Mr. Bill Ramberg, Mr. and Mrs. Terry and Mona McCarthy, Mr. and Mrs. Eric and Sarah Christensen. Mr. Bill Ramberg, few people have invested time and resources that you have contributed in your affiliation with the Forest Lake Agricultural Education Department. We appreciate your time and effort helping provide the arena and necessities of having our annual FFA horse show, and in gratitude for your service, we extend you honorary membership. Mr. and Mrs. Terry and Mona McCarthy, and Mr. and Mrs. Eric and Sarah Christensen. As a result of your love and devotion for your children have earned the Minnesota FFA degree, the highest accomplishment awarded to the members at state level. These accomplishments would not have been possible without your support, guidance, and encouragement. For the positive example that you have demonstrated to your children, we are pleased to present you with your honorary membership.
I welcome you as friends of the FFA. It is my privilege as Sentinel to extend to each of you the symbolic handclasp of friendship and brotherhood.
As reporter, I am pleased to inform you that the FFA is a national youth organization whose purpose is to develop agriculture leaders. Welcome to membership.
Your contribution as a useful citizen in our democracy serves as an example for our members to follow. As treasurer, I welcome you to our organization.
The FFA needs counsel and guidance from your recognized leaders. It is my pleasure as secretary to add your name to our roll of our honorary members.
The FFA needs counsel and guidance from recognized leaders. It is my pleasure as Vice President, I welcome you to the FFA. I would inform you that our members learn to appreciate the dignity of labor. Without labor, neither knowledge nor wisdom can accomplish much.
On behalf of the chapter, I wish to say we are proud to have you as honorary members. May this affiliation prove valuable to all. I impress upon you that we look to you for counsel and guidance. It is because of the great respect we have for you that you have been elected to honorary membership. May we always cooperate for the benefit of all. I now confer upon you honorary membership in the Forest Lake FFA and present you with this token of membership. Please join me in thanking these honorary members.
Will this year's awardees of the Discovery degree please come forward to receive your pin? This year's recipients are Epi Husett, Ben Hansen, Madison Headley, Noel Peratt, Lucas Runquist, and Ben Nemchik.
The Discovery degree is only available to 8th grade members who have shown an interest in agricultural education. This degree is the training wheels for upcoming degrees that you can earn. Although you have done well to accomplish this degree, let me remind you that today you are only beginning your journey, which can provide you with the experiences which will set the foundation for success that will carry you throughout life. You are taking the first steps in the exciting world of agriculture and have much to learn and accomplish in your FFA career. I challenge you to grasp all the opportunities offered and wish you every success in that journey. Good luck to all of you. We wish this development will lead to career success and in the broad field of agriculture. Congratulations.
The Green Hand degree is given to members who demonstrate knowledge of the FFA history, the FFA creed, and the motto, along with other general FFA information. In addition, the member must have plans to or have started their supervised agriculture experience program. Will the recipients please come forward? This year's recipients are Rachel Trapp, Cameron Strand, Andrew Espinosa, Megan Palmer, Danielle Stace, Crystal Stafford, Kyra Quillen, Camilla Munoz, and Emma Headley.
The pin worn by the Green Hands is made of bronze. Because of its hardness and endurance, bronze has been used for ages by those who sought better substitute for crude stone instruments. May those qualities of hardness and endurance carry you far in this organization. Although you have done well and merit this recognition, let me remind you that there are heights yet to be attained. Just as there are metals more precious than bronze, there are rare and more precious laurels to be won in our organization. The silver pin of the chapter FFA degree and the golden charm of the state FFA degree await those who earn them. It is my sincere wish that some of you will eventually be awarded the golden key of the American FFA degree. Your future is before you. Through hard work and wise decisions, you can attain the highest place in our organization so eagerly sought by all worthy members.
The FFA organization practices agriculture leadership, citizenship, and cooperation. If you develop your abilities, you may become a leader in this organization. We need you, and the country needs strong leadership. We now welcome you as Green Hands.
Fellowship and brotherhood are desirable aspects of a full and satisfying life. FFA members learn the importance of sound financial practice and enjoy benefits through FFA. Therefore, will the chapter degree awardees please come forward to receive the highest FFA degree a chapter can bestow on its members. This year's recipients are Emily Thompson, Amanda Stafford, Laura Lutz, Jenny Thill, Jessica Haynes, Madeline Smith, Rachel Husted, and Josephine Hodoba.
Those who succeed best in life, regardless of their occupation, know the means whereby the great problems may be solved. Ignorance leads to neglect, waste, want, and poverty, while wisdom leads to industry, productivity, and happiness. You have studied and learned in order to earn this degree. Every worthwhile recognition carries with it additional responsibilities. Your increased leadership ability should be reflected by your further involvement in activities in our chapter.
The pin symbolizing the chapter FFA degree is made of silver. Just as there are metals more precious than silver, there are more precious laurels to be won in our organization. The golden charm of the state FFA degree and the golden key of the American FFA degree await those who earn them. It is our hope that you reach these higher goals in our organization. I am pleased to present each of you with the silver pin of the chapter FFA degree.
The Minnesota FFA degree is the highest FFA degree that a member can receive at the state level. It is awarded to members who have productively invested at least $2,000 in the SAE program, participated in at least 10 activities above the chapter level, and successfully completed 25 hours of community service. I look forward to conferring this degree to Mariah Daniger, Ben Plotz, Luke Nimzik, and Randy Rabin at our Minnesota FFA convention in April.
Career development is one of the many missions of the FFA. Our chapter has participated in several career development events. During the school year, agriculture professionals have identified skills required for success in specific occupations. FFA members are asked to competitively demonstrate these skills through the CDE.
The CDE teams can be found in tonight's program. This year we have 11 teams already qualified for state, with several events yet to be held. Would members from the following teams please join me on stage to receive your CDE recognition certificate.
Please hold your applause until all teams have been read. This year's state qualifiers are Novice Parliamentary Procedure, Megan Palmer, Andrew Espinoza, Crystal Stafford, Kyra Quillen, and Eli Walgren, Cameron Strand. Dairy Evaluation, Joe Ramstead, Mariah Danninger, Jenny Thill, Kyle Wimberg. Horse Evaluation, Anna Waddell, Madison Starginski, Kristen Newland, Maria Slurzak, and Summer Sova. Soil Evaluation, Carly Lawrence and Matt Lennon.
For livestock evaluation, Randy Rabine, Kyra Quillen, and Mitch Clemens. Parliamentary procedure, Ben Plautz, Sarah Neek, Mariah Danninger, Joe Ramstead, Amanda Stafford, and Kari Lawrence. For small animals, Kristen Newland, Emily Thompson, and Bailey Savanich. Congratulations to all of these members on their outstanding accomplishments.
A successful supervised agriculture experience program is essential to the development of an FFA member. Through an SAE, some students are able to become gainfully employed, become engaged in production agriculture, or become an entrepreneur as they start a business of their own.
The following students have conducted successful chapter SAEs and maintained records at the chapter level. The Silver Proficiency Award goes to Jessica Haynes, Agri-Science, Luke Nimchek, Horticulture, Laura Lutz, Egg Production Placement, Jenny Thill, Equine Production Placement, Joe Ramstead, Agricultural Education.
The following students completed state-level applications documenting their SAE projects and have earned gold-level chapter proficiency awards. This year's gold proficiency awards go to Mariah Danninger in dairy production and Ben Plautz in nursery entrepreneurship.
An item not included in your program this evening, but I wanted to share with you because we did so well, is the science fair. Today we had 5 students travel to the University of Minnesota and compete in the Dr. Roland Peterson Science Fair. We had 3 of those students receive blue ribbons, and that was Jessica Haynes, now I'm going blank, even though I was with them all day. Crystal Stafford and Amanda Stafford. Thank you, Mr. Miron. And then Joe Ramstead and Megan Palmer earned a purple ribbon, which was grand champion in their division, and they will have the opportunity to submit their written materials to the national competition and could possibly be chosen to attend national convention as a top 15 finalists in their area. So let's congratulate them on their success today.
Tonight, it's my pleasure to award varsity letters in FFA to 5 individuals. To earn a letter in the FFA, you have to accumulate over 300 points on a scoring system that's based upon your supervised agricultural experience program, leadership involvement, and community service. And so those members earning their letters tonight are Carly Lawrence, Ben Ploutz, Joe Ramstead, Josephine Hudova, and Mariah Danager. Congratulations.
Communication is a very important and vital part of the world today. A person who is successful at communicating will be effective in any career.
This year's recipients have excelled in communication, demonstrated through career development events. The Excellence in Communication Awards go to Megan Palmer for Creed, Joe Ramstad for the Farm Bureau Discussion Meet, Mariah Danager for prepared public speaking, and Rachel Husett for job interview.
The Outstanding Fundraiser Award is given to a member who displays extra effort during fundraiser activities. This member's contribution to the fundraising process greatly influenced the amount of money that we were able to make for this year as a chapter. This year's Outstanding Fundraiser Award goes to Luke Nimchek.
Some members exhibit more spirit than most. Their enthusiasm for FFA is contagious, and they are the reason that others seek to join our fund. These members have the best interest of the FFA at heart. These year's recipients are Jenny Phil, Kyra Quillen,
The Washington Leadership Scholarship is awarded to a member who has been actively involved at chapter, regional, and state levels. The Washington Leadership Conference is an opportunity for the member to be involved at a national level.
The Washington Leadership Conference is sponsored by the Forest Lake FFA alumni. This year's scholarship is awarded to Joe Ramstead.
The Forest Lake FFA encourages students to excel in academics. The scholarship award is given to one FFA member from each grade level.
This student possesses academic excellence and has the highest GPA in their grade. Each winner will receive a scholarship pin. The freshman member is Megan Palmer. The sophomore member is Jessica Haynes. The junior member is Laura Lutz. The senior member is Rachel Husett.
The Cooperation Award is given to members who exhibit the spirit of cooperation and teamwork in carrying out FFA activities.
These members have done an outstanding job of working in various committees and group situations and have the ability to work and learn to fulfill the objectives of our chapter. This year's Cooperation and Award winners are Amanda Stafford,
The Most Improved Member Award is given to the member who has shown the greatest improvement, participation, leadership, and community development in our chapter in the last year.
Their improvement has led to the Forest Lake FFA placing among the top chapters in the United States. This award goes to Carly Lawrence.
The Community Service and Volunteer Awards are presented to members who exhibit outstanding efforts in community service and volunteer in Forest Lake area.
They donate time and effort to make our community a better place to be. The Forest Lake chapter takes a great amount of pride in their community improvement efforts. The Community Service Award goes to Jessica Haynes.
This award is for the member that has demonstrated outstanding leadership in our chapter over the past year. Outstanding leadership is what has helped the Forest Lake FFA chapter remain as one of the top chapters in the state of Minnesota. This year, I am proud to present this award to Rachel Husett.
Star Green Hand. Every year, the Star Green Hand Award is given to the chapter's outstanding Green Hand member. Award recipients demonstrate the new enthusiasm and dedication to FFA during their 9th grade agriculture course. This year's Green Hand Award goes to Megan Palmer.
The Star in Agribusiness Awards are given every year to the members that excel in their supervised agricultural experience programs that are based on business. This year, we are pleased to award these stars to Luke Niemczek and Ben Plautz.
The Star and Placement Award is awarded to a member that excels in their supervised agriculture experience that focuses on entrepreneurship in the agriculture field.
This year's award goes to Mariah Danger.
Every year, the Star and Placement Award is awarded to a member that excels in their supervised agriculture experience that focuses on a job placement in the agriculture field. This year, the award goes to Mariah Daninger and Ben Platts.
Well, that was fun. Let's congratulate all of these young people once again for their tremendous achievement. Well, it's that part in the program where I need the seniors to join me up top here. If I could. Now, if you've been with us the last couple years at this banquet, you can remember that our senior class has been a small but powerful group of people. Now, as you turn around and you look behind me, you can see that we have a large and powerful group of people. For those of you who have been in those last couple graduating classes, last couple groups of seniors, I would say that much of what you left us is standing behind me here tonight. These are the folks that you recruited. They're the folks that you brought into our chapter. They're the people who have continued to grow and to help make the Forest Lake FFA thrive here over the past several years. And so to all these seniors, let's thank them and give them a round of applause here. Now, knowing that this group was a bit bigger, I have to tell you, I've come in the last couple days at work, and Mrs. Ward hasn't yelled at me too much yet. I've had lack of sleep. I've been up at about 2:30, 3 o'clock the last couple mornings, and I've been putting a notepad by my nightstand because how I was going to talk about all these folks was keeping me up at night, literally. And not because it was going to be a struggle to find nice things to say, but this was always Mr. Marzov's part of the program, and he had a great art of saying something profound and sincere about each person. And with such a large group, I know that I'm not going to do that as well tonight, but I'm going to give it my best effort. And so let's start with Randy Rabine. Why don't you take a step forward, Randy? Or 2 or 3. Thanks, Randy. I've had Randy, I think, all year in senior agriculture in class, but as many of you know, Randy and I have known each other for quite a while, so it seems fitting to start with family here tonight. But, you know, he did something here just this week that said something about who Randy was. See, Randy's been on the Crops Career Development event the last several years. And in fact, I think it's Randy's career goal to go into agronomy, to do something in crops. And, you know, we have students that come together and practice for CDEs, and most of that it turns out to kind of just being a social session. But they do practice a little bit once in a while. And Randy was the only one who was able to come in that afternoon. And instead of just kind of checking out and saying, see you later, he said, I really want to learn this stuff. Not because I want to necessarily do well at a career development event, because I know this is what my future's about. Well, that's what FFA is about. It's about providing you opportunities that help get you ready for whatever your future is going to be. And so I think to have that kind of standard for yourself at your age is something that you can be really proud of, and something that that's going to take you a long way as you continue your schooling and your professional life. But the other thing I would say too about Randy, you were bleacher captain this year, right? And I've had the opportunity to supervise some of these sporting events that Randy has been at, but he carries in the cheers and how he leads his peers. It's always positive. It's never about something about the other team. This doesn't matter what the score is. He's always leading his peers in a positive way to take part in that activity. And that's something that I admire about you as well, Randy. Even though I've called you Ryan half the year, I think I got your name right all the times I've said it here this evening. Randy's going to earn his Minnesota FFA degree as well, and that's a tremendous accomplishment. And so, Randy, congratulations, and I look forward to seeing your future career here in the agriculture industry. Good job. You bet. Anna used a word to describe herself today that seemed fitting for this pretty much entire talk. I think you referred to yourself as complicated. True? Yeah, I think you did. She came in today and she said, I'm just complicated, Mr. Miron. And I said, isn't that the truth? So Anna was a transfer student, right? And, I don't know what that would have been like. Transferring from another place, trying to become involved with a totally new group of people as a high school student had to be quite the transition. And, I know that those things aren't easy, but I hope, Anna, that somehow you found a place in the ag department. I hope that we help make that transition a little bit easier. I hope that you found people there who you could talk to and friends and fit in, and I hope that was a positive thing for you as you came to Forest Lake High School. Anna's also been in senior agriculture, and I gotta promote that class here a little bit because I get to know these guys well in there, and it's all about what are you gonna do next. I mean, this high school thing's been great, but what's going to happen after high school? And I know for Anna that's been a bit of a struggle. I think we've started to get it figured out a little bit now, and so I think she's got some plans and she knows where she's going to go. She's been Anna loves horses, no doubt about it. It's kind of through and through, whether it's at the horse show or the region champion of the horse evaluation career development event team. She's been involved in all those things. She went with Mrs. Ward to National Convention this year, and I think that was a positive experience for you, and I hope that opened your eyes a little bit to some of the things that are available to you as you graduate from here from high school. So Anna, it's really been a joy to have you. While it has been complicated, it's been a lot of fun too. Kyle. How you doing, Kyle? Good. As I thought about Kyle, well, let's start here. Kyle's a dairy kid, so, we related. There's not many of us left, Kyle, in this area, so, we dairy kids got to stay together a little bit. And so, of course, if you're on a dairy farm, you got to do the dairy evaluation career development event, because who the heck else am I going to get for that? So, but we got to this thing where we had to do these things called oral reasons. And that means you got to talk in front of people and tell them why you did what you did. And I don't think I don't know, when did you start that as a freshman or a sophomore, Kyle? Did I first twist your arm into it? I'm not sure. Yeah, freshman year. I don't think Kyle was real keen on having to do this oral reasons thing in front of some judges. But you figured it out. You've done it, and you've gone to state, I think, every year. You've been in the contest. That doesn't happen unless you build some confidence and you build you build that up as you go. In fact, Mariah's back there, right? How did you do this year? I know she's gonna hate me. That's why I didn't turn that way. So that's Kyle's claim to fame maybe this year. But the other thing that I'll remember about Kyle is you're just positive all the time. You're a captain and a role model in a variety of different activities and sports that you're involved in. And so that positive example, that friendliness that you give to everybody that you meet, that's really what's important about you, Kyle. And I think it's I think it's how you're going to find success as you continue. I believe you're looking in the mechanical field, and so I know that you're going to be successful at that as well. And we hope that you'll stop back and see us once in a while. Thank you, Kyle. Nick. How you doing, Nick? I don't know that I've ever seen a student prouder to get an FFA jacket than Nick. Nick wanted that jacket, and it was our privilege, Nick, to get you in one. It really was. Nick is a hard worker. Nick is in my plant science class right now, and he doesn't quit till the job is done. He doesn't leave until the room is clean. He just makes sure that all those loose ends are all taken care of, and that he sees things through to completion. And so for that, Nick, and for all the other things that you do in contributing to our classes and to the different events, and just proudly wearing that FFA jacket serves as an example for all of us. So congratulations, Nick, on an outstanding FFA career. Sierra. Sierra and Rachel back there somehow wandered into a youth leadership class. We didn't have enough room, so it was taught in the shop. So I was trying to teach from a projector in a long room, and I don't know, I was still trying to figure out how to make that room work for what I was trying to teach in there, but those two were like right up front, weren't you? If I remember, right up front on the right hand, I mean, you were just always right there. Probably wishing they hadn't picked those seats because it meant they got picked on all the time. But she wandered into that youth leadership class, and I don't know how many days I pestered and said, you have to do this FFA thing. And finally, I think I just wore her out. I think she just decided that, well, he's not going to quit, and I'll just fill out this form, and, he'll shut up for a while. And then as soon as she filled that, it was, well, can you come to this? Can you be involved in this activity? And before we know it, Sierra's attending chapter camp. She's volunteering at the county fair. She's at Family Farm Fest. She's kind of just everywhere, just kind of in her quiet way doing her part to make sure that the event happens and it's successful. I think Sierra understands, like a lot of our members do, that volunteers are what make this work. And somebody's got to step up to do it. And you can't just look around for the other person to do it all the time. Sometimes that person is you. Sierra's been a member of our food science team for the last couple years, done very well at that state competition. And so I'm glad that you showed up in that class. I still don't know how you got there. I'm glad that you gave in to the pestering, and we're certainly going to miss you when you're gone. Thank you so much. Ben. You're going to find a hard time finding a harder worker than Ben. Whether it's with his business, whether it's with FFA stuff, sometimes schoolwork. No, Ben works hard. Ben doesn't know what half throttle is. He plows snow overnight and finds his way to school in the morning. And I think that says something about Ben's character. But not only is he a hard worker, Ben cares more than most that things don't just get done, that they're done at a high level. It's not just enough to check it off the list of things to do. It has to be accomplished in such a way that he's proud of it, and that he can take pride in it, and that other people can too. So that when people look at what that is, they find success. They find that it was done well. And I think that's a quality that has led to Ben being so successful, not only in his business, but in so many things that he's done in FFA too. The greenhouse is a labor of love, and I'm glad that Ben either loves it or loves to help me too, because without him, without Matt Lennon and the work that they did, they installed a whole watering system for the greenhouse that we didn't have before. I mean, basket waters, misting benches. It's really changed what we've been able to do in the greenhouse, what we've been able to do with our plant sale, what we've been able to do in our classes, and what we've been able to grow. And I don't know that you and Matt really understood that it wasn't just about putting pipe in the rafters of the greenhouse, that it was about creating a teaching opportunity, a learning opportunity that we didn't have available to us before, and that has made a lot of difference. Like Matt too, Ben also applied for an SAE grant, which I think is how you got the start in your business, really. I mean, it was a lawn mowing business as a 9th grader. I mean, if you want an example of how supervised agricultural experience works, you look at Ben. He came to an agriculture course, didn't have the background like some people do, where they walk in and they're from a farm, or they've got some. He walked in, he heard about this SAE thing, and said, "I can mow lawns. I could have a business mowing people's lawns," and that's where it started. And then a $1,000 grant from the National FFA later. Ben's investing in equipment. Ben's investing in trailers, and pretty soon this thing has grown to where you have your own company now that subcontracts for other people, and even gets hired by your teacher to come take a look at his lawn once in a while when it doesn't grow quite right. There's nothing worse than the ag teacher's grass not being green, So, he comes over and he helps this poor ag teacher out sometimes too, and that's really what's led to not only the star that we gave you here as a chapter, but Ben's a regional star in agribusiness, and he's going to be he's going to be interviewed next week to see if he's one of the state star finalists. And I think they're going to be hard to find a young man who not only represents what's good about SAE, but represents what's good about leadership in our organization as well. Ben attended the Washington Leadership Conference this last summer. And we saw a lot of change after he came back from that. Not that things weren't good before, but just that growth, that he was able to experience as a result of that, and really perform his duties more effectively as our chapter vice president here. He's managed our committees. He manages a lot of the activities. There's a lot of business. There's a lot of work of the FFA chapter that goes through Ben. And for helping me organize all that, for caring about the success of this program about as much as anybody, we are very grateful. And there is no doubt in my mind that professionally and personally, you're going to find a lot of success. Congratulations, Ben. Carly Lawrence. Are you nervous about what I'm going to say next? Yeah, I figured you would be. Every year when you look at this group of seniors, last year, the year before, and you're going to graduate some students who have been so important to the success of your program, you wonder what you're going to do without them. You wonder how you're going to manage to get the things done that you've been doing without the people that have been doing it for so long. And you kind of know what you have, in terms of, tonight we're going to introduce our new officers. You know who they are. You know what they've done. You know the people that are going to be in some of those key leadership roles when you look at beginning the next year. But you know that there's going to be a void there. And you know that if the chapter is going to continue to excel and maintain at the level that it's been going, that somebody's going to have to fill that void. Somebody unexpected is going to have to step up. And I think one of those people for us this year was Carly. You've assumed some new leadership roles this year that you probably didn't expect to take on. Some of them were forced, some of them were volunteered. We have a hydroponic system that would probably still be collecting dust if Carly wouldn't have figured it out, because her teacher didn't have time. Just things like that. Carly volunteered to be on our parliamentary procedure team, and she probably never thought that that was going to be something she would ever do. And dare I say it, I think she might miss it when it's over. I think that there's something, the parliamentary procedure is learning how to run a meeting. It sounds like about the most dull thing in the world, but somehow this group of people seems to make it fun. And they come in at 7 in the morning on Saturdays to practice meeting management. Whew. So, Carly, you're a hardworking person too, who expects high standards, but the highest standard she expects is that of herself. She puts a burden on herself sometimes that's unfair, I think, because what you represent and what you do is what's good in our program. And it's you've really been a model of what we try to do as part of the agriculture department, where it doesn't become just about students coming and taking classes, but it becomes students becoming invested in what we do because you want to do it. And we really appreciate you stepping up and filling that role. And so somebody out there who maybe isn't in a key leadership role for next year, you're not an officer, look to Carly, because she's the person that demonstrates how you can have a tremendous influence on the chapter and not wear a title on your jacket. And so Carly, congratulations. Gotta take inventory. Jenny. There's always, in every senior class, there's always this example. The example of the kid who should have started sooner. I think Jenny's one of our examples of that this year. It has really been a lot of fun getting to know you, Jenny. You're a special individual, and I only wish I would have gotten to know you sooner. I think there are a lot of people standing behind you who knew how much you liked what was going on. They drug you down. I think you were coming down to the ag department for I don't know how long before we even got you to fill out a membership form. You were kind of there, but you just weren't signed on the dotted line, You were hanging out with everybody. Heck, I think you were coming to stuff before you were a member. It was just a matter of getting you on that roster form. And you've done a lot of things, whether it was the Farm City Fun Day or a lot of our other FFA activities. Jenny's played a big role in a short amount of time in making our chapter activities successful. One of them that I'm going to remember you, though, is watching you with that youth teaching youth program. Having all those elementary students huddled around as you read a book. I'm thinking of the picture right now, just taking in every word. And I think you have a lot of influence, even though it's a soft-spoken influence that you don't truly realize you have, but I think I saw it, especially when you were working with those young elementary people as part of that youth teaching youth program. And so I hope you remember that as you move forward. I hope that you remember the influence that you can have on others, and that can be done so powerfully, maybe even more powerfully, in a soft-spoken way. Jenny's a self-starter. and we're truly going to miss you as you move on to your future endeavors. Congratulations, Jenny. Mariah Daniger. So we can go through the list of stuff, right? I mean, chapter president, she's a regional star farmer. She's going to have a tour next week too, and I think that committee is going to be hard pressed to find a better star finalist candidate than Mariah. And we could go on a WLC and camps and conferences and region off. I mean, we could go through a list that's pretty long. But I don't think reading your resume tonight is going to do you justice or do what you've done for us justice either. Mariah has really stepped up, and a lot of it real recently too. This banquet, I mean, I think Mariah was more stressed today than I was, and that's saying something. I mean, I worry. I mean, I just said I was up at night, and I think Mariah might have been worrying about things more than I was. Mariah has a tremendous ability to make the people around her feel important and valued. She too, kind of like Jenny, is soft-spoken, although you've seen her perform tremendously. I mean, you can flip that switch. But you have a way of making the person that you're talking to at the time be what's important at that moment. And sometimes it was me, you know, where I knew you could have been doing something else, but you took the time because you knew I needed it. And that's been very important for me. It's been very important for your peers. It's been very important for the chapter. But I'm the oldest, so I don't know what it's like being down the line, but I think you can be proud of this year, Mariah, that you've done things your way. I think you've done some things that are going to leave their mark on the chapter for a long time. I mean, during your time as president, along with your chapter officers, you've changed the way our meetings are run. You've involved committees. You've changed the way in which we communicate to people and trying to have activities in all of our meetings. You did it different. And it's that different that I think is going to be that difference, those different things that you did, that you've left and have led us to, are going to be things that we're going to continue to do for a long time. And I think that's really the mark of leadership, is not what you do when you're there, but what you leave that's going to make a difference. And you've left a huge mark on this chapter. You've made a huge difference, and you've done it in your way. And I hope that as you graduate, you'll proudly look back at that and knowing that your year as chapter president was your year. Congratulations. Rachel Husett. So she wandered into youth leadership too. Not sure how she got there or why she was there in this crummy old shop. And just, I remember having the conversation with Mr. Marzoff. I do. I said, I got these two great kids, Sierra and Rachel, and I can't figure out how to just, seal the deal here and get them to come and be part of what we're up to. And he gave me some advice, and by golly, it worked. It's just like he'd been doing this for years, and so I learned to listen. I learned to listen to him a little bit more. And the reason I wanted you to become involved so bad is because I knew so early how special you were and how talented you were, not just academically, but in what you represented, what you valued, how you cared. And boy, you think about some of the things that you've done. You did go to national convention, and I think when you went to that, it was when you first started to kind of realize what might be out there. Not only what might be out there for FFA, but what might be out there for you. It got you out of an environment and put you in a different one that maybe wasn't as comfortable, but you accepted that risk, and you decided that you were going to try something different. And I think it became, I hope, a good launching pad for you, a good growth moment in terms of excelling personally and also in the FFA. We went on a chapter officer retreat last year, and you were busy on your phone. And I don't know, I think I was going to get mad at you for being on your phone. And then I realized that she was organizing an activity for Special Olympics. And boy, I mean, how many young people are engaging in that? I mean, you organized a whole basketball team with a lot of the people behind you that supported that effort. It had nothing to do with FFA, but I got to tell you, it was one of my proudest moments, and I had nothing to do with it. Just watching what you guys were able to do, what you were able to lead, and what they supported you on. Kids impress, and sometimes when you least expect it. Not only did you do that, you led a whole campaign, spread the word to end the word. Did I get that right? School-wide assembly, T-shirts, people doing things, signing banners, all to promote treating all of your peers, everybody, in a positive way. One person can create a huge ripple effect, and you're going to create lots of ripples. You're just going to go out there, and you're going to create more change that's going to be important. I just know that you are. You were part of youth teaching youth as well, working with those young people, and a reason I bring that up is you've had a lot of inner struggle with what the future is for you, where you're going to go to school, what you're going to do for a career. And one thing I can understand about Rachel is, you want to know and you want to have a plan. So do I. And so I knew when I looked, and so I'm telling her not to stress out about this, but I knew if I was her, I'd be stressing out, and she was trying to find that, and it was so helpless, Rachel, because I didn't know what to do for you. I didn't know how to help you, except to just keep encouraging and to hope that you would figure it out. And that day you came in, and you had a smile on your face. You were in the egg office right in the morning telling Mrs. Ward and I that I think I figured it out. I think I know what I want to do. And it was like this huge just weight was lifted, and you felt like you could move forward. And while I'm excited for you and your career and what you've chosen to do, and I'm really excited that you've picked something where I know you're going to be able to help people, which is school psychologist. Thank you. I know that anybody you work with, whether it's as a school psychologist or even if that changes, even if it does, even though I know it's the plan and we don't want to deviate from it, but if it were to change, because life changes, it's not going to matter. It's really not going to matter what your diploma says or what you decide to do as a career. You're going to find a way to help people, whether it's in your profession or whether it's in your volunteer work. And that leadership is going to make a huge difference in the communities that you live in. And it's really going to be, it's going to be impossible really to not only replace the leadership that you brought to the chapter as an officer, but the modeling, the role modeling that you've done for your peers as a person. Thank you. Andy. How's Andy? Same old, same old. I mean, Andy, you know, and it's kind of right, same old, same old. I mean, you know, Andy is in a couple of my classes, been in a few of my classes during the year, and you're not the most outspoken kid, Andy. I mean, you're not, you know. But you just kind of quietly go about doing your job. You just quietly go about making sure things get done. You're in youth leadership. When we're talking or sharing or discussing, I mean, Andy, you're not the first person to raise your hand in class, but when it comes to today, getting things planted, getting something done in the greenhouse, you're there. And you're providing an example for the people around you. You don't have to be loud or raising your hand all the time to be a leader. You can be a leader by what you do. And I think that's quietly what Andy represents. I know that you're probably maybe a little bit more vocal when you go across the hall into the auto shop. Because I know that's what you're looking at doing. And I know that's where your passions are. And that's good. That's important. I also know that you've done a little farm work and that you enjoy those pieces as well. And so I think, you know, Andy, in that quiet way, you're gonna get your job done, and you're gonna be a leader to others in what you do, not only what you say. And that friendliness and that smile like he's got on now, he just carries that. I mean, he's always. I mean, it could be crummy, and I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen you work in the auto shop, but I just have this feeling that if he drops something heavy on his big toe, he's just going to grin and bear through it. You know, I mean, I just feel that's kind of how you're going to be. The other thing I do know about you, Andy, I mean, I've known you and I've known your family for a long time, and I know what type of value system you've been raised in, and that value system is something that you demonstrate. It is, and I know that your parents can be very proud of you and how you live that out, and that's really says so much about a lot of these young people behind us. For the three of us, it's a pleasure to work with all these young people, but we're so fortunate that you all come from such strong families who support you and encourage you and counsel you and scold you when necessary to get what you need. And Andy's just another example of that, of the strong leadership and the strong qualities and the strong families that we have that are a part of this program. And so best wishes to you, Andy, in your future and in your career going forward. Congratulations. Kristen Newland. Now, I think I've had you in a couple classes, but I believe you've probably spent more time with Mrs. Ward than you have me. But you know, it's the benefit of being in a small department and a small program. I'll be teaching a class, and Mrs. Ward will come in and teach for a little while. She'll be teaching a class. I'll come in and teach for a while. And because of that, we get to know each other's students pretty well. And Kristen is another one of those students who has been in a lot of classes and has done a few things. You've been in the Small Animals Career Development event, and I think that's probably one thing that I'm going to remember about you is that you seem to have this love for animals and for some of those things. And so that brought you into a career development event area that you participate in, and I hope it's something that's been fun and enjoyable and educational for you as well. And the other thing that Mrs. Ward and I were talking about as we were thinking about you is that whenever we ask you to do something, you're there to do it. You're willing to help us out. Probably not because you want to all the time, but because you agree to. And we appreciate that. We know that we ask a lot of our students. We ask things of you that you may or may not want to do. Maybe it's participating in that CDE, but you agree to it. And if it's not for that, we don't get a lot of things. We don't get a lot of things done. And so, for all that you've helped us do, for your willingness to help, we certainly appreciate it, and we wish you the best going forward. Congratulations. Luke, is that it? Luke is another one of those students who comes from a family that I've known a long time, and I know what you and your family represents as well. And Luke has been a chapter officer for the last several years. And I know that, and I hope you're okay with me saying this, Luke, that, maybe this last year you were put in a little different role as being officer at large, right? Because I called you the wrong thing most of the year. And he could have taken that in a lot of different ways, but Luke accepted that and decided that he was going to make the most out of that leadership role as he possibly could. And Luke, you truly are somebody who leads by example. I think you'd probably be the first to say, or at least agree with me, that words without action are empty. That we can all say, we can all want, but until we do, it really doesn't matter. And you do. You are out there performing at a high level not only because you want to do well, but you want to provide that example for others that can be respected. And I think that that's something that we can all learn a lot from. But not doing that in a way where it's, look at me, or look at what I've done, and it would have been easy for you to do that because you've had a lot of success, whether in academics or wrestling or whatever it might be. It's doing that in a humble way, in a way that isn't about attention, it isn't about recognition, it isn't about award. It's about doing it because you want to, and because you want to provide that example for other people. And so that quality, that type of behavior is what's truly going to make you successful as you move along in your academic and professional career. Luke, too, is going to earn his Minnesota FFA degree, and he had an application that was a little bit different. It was an application I had to call all the way up. I had to call the state advisor because I don't know what to do with it. Because Luke raises food, right? You rent a plot, you put in time, you put in hours, and instead of going out and selling that produce and making money and buying nice things and doing fun things, he donates that food to the food shelf. And I think that humility, that humbleness that I've been talking about is really exemplified through your SAE, that leading by action, that leading by example, that providing a positive role model for other people. You didn't make a big deal out of it. You just did it because it's what you thought was the right thing to do. Keep doing the right thing. I know that you will. And congratulations on just an outstanding high school career. Now, I didn't miss anybody, right? Good thing those late hours. Okay, so the last privilege that I have tonight is to provide the Senior Accomplishment Award. And the Senior Accomplishment Award is based upon three main criteria. It's a measurement of a student's involvement in their supervised agricultural experience program. It is their leadership contributions and their leadership involvement, as well as their academic achievement while in high school. And as we gathered all the applications, as we looked at this group of people, we could really place anybody's name on the plaque and not make a mistake. And the three of us really had a tough time, really a difficult time. And so as we put it aside, I think a couple, 2-3 times as we were having the discussion about awards this evening. And I went and I pulled out some old senior plaques. I started looking at the names of the people, the prominent people who have been recognized with this award in the past. And I went back 14 years to the year 2000, and I found my inspiration, I think, for what the right thing to do here this evening was. 14 years ago, I was a senior. Yikes. I was back there, and Mr. Marzoff was trying to come up with something nice to say about me. And that year, Mr. Marzoff and the other advisors at the time recognized that it sometimes isn't because of one that the chapter and that the program is successful. The two people that we want to recognize tonight probably exemplify what it means to work as a team, but not only that, how it is to take two sets of very unique and different talents and somehow find a way to make them work together for the betterment of all rather than the betterment of self. That's the way it was 14 years ago when Beth Flanagan and I had our names put on the plaque, and I think it's the right thing to do this evening as well. These two people both ran for chapter president, and I remember visiting with them before that election. And I think our conversation was, we have two people who could easily be president of the Forest Lake FFA, but it's how the two people, regardless of the outcome of the election, work together that's going to determine whether the Forest Lake FFA is successful. We've been successful because of the ability of these people to blend their talents, their abilities, their creativity together to lead different people in different ways at different times, and to support us as teachers in different ways at different times. And so it is with a lot of pride and a lot of gratitude that we would like to present tonight's Senior Accomplishment Awards to Ben Plautz and Mariah Daniger. Congratulations. Ben and Mariah's names are going to go on a plaque that's going to stay in the department and hang there in our trophy case until, as Mrs. Ward just reminds me, you get too old and it gets too dusty and then it gets put on a shelf in a cabinet. So that's the way that works. It's not on that one. No, I'm too old for it to fit on that one. So seniors, it has really been a pleasure for us to watch each of you in your own way excel and grow and represent what we hope the Forest Lake FFA does for its members. And for those of you who are underclassmen, I hope that you can identify with somebody up on the stage tonight, because we have lots of very different people that represent fantastic leadership in many different ways. And for all of your work, for all of your help, and for all of your success. We thank each of you. Congratulations to all of you. Anything else?
And now, as usual, following that portion is our seniors' turn to thank the advisors for all that they do for us. And there's no possible way any of us would be where we are today, or even close, if it weren't for these three amazing individuals. And so I have a little picture of seniors and a thank you from Mrs. Tozel, because working with those young members is something that truly takes a special person. And although we didn't get to have her as a teacher, we love having your loving heart there for us whenever we need it. Thank you.
Around the ag department, it's kind of a unique family, how we all filter in and out of class, and as we said, these three great ag teachers, but what family isn't put together correctly without a mother? And Mrs. Ward has always been like a mother to many of us seniors and anybody else who's come through those ag doors, and she keeps the ag department in ship shape and makes sure us as individuals are as well in correct order. So thank you, Mrs. Ward, for everything you do for all of us.
Well, we have three amazing individuals up here tonight that dedicate their lives to us, and there's no possible way to give a proper thank you to them. But looking at Mr. Miron, you know, none of us really, when you look at him, you don't see all that nice stuff. He just, I mean, you know it's in there, but that's just not what we see. We see a guy, let's be honest, we see a guy that jokes around with kids. He teaches high school. I don't think he could possibly have a better job than be an ag teacher in high school and be an FFA advisor. He cares so much about every single one of his students, and he shows it with gratitude and also just joking around. I've felt for you, Miron. Ever since you lost Mr. Marzoff, you've been the lone male there in the office, but you've gotten through so far, and I know you will in the future. I know you will continue to be a great advisor to many, many more students. Thank you very much.
So I get the fun part and get to talk about all three of them. I guess I can talk for the senior class and probably every single other member sitting over there. Being in the agriculture department is something else. It's not like the rest of the school. It is a place where everyone feels like they belong, everyone feels like they're siblings, and it's a big, huge family. I know there's younger members that come in and get advice from older members, and we older members get advice from these three lovely people over here. I know I would not be in the place I am if I didn't have the advice and the guidance from these three counselors, and I thank them for that. So we have a collage of pictures with some very interesting pictures in them. So I encourage you to take a look at them. We have one of each of the advisors and then a few group pictures. I know that I've made many, many memories, and I will bring them throughout my whole entire life, and so there's just a few of those captured moments that they can continue to relive. So thank you for your dedication and hard work.
Will the 2013-2014 officers and the 2014-2015 officers please join me on stage? I would like to take this moment to thank and congratulate both the new and old officers standing beside me. Joe, as President-elect, you have been selected by your fellow members to be the leader of our chapter for the coming year. You are therefore responsible for continuing to guide our chapter in all its worthy undertakings. May you continue to work intelligently and seriously to fulfill the responsibilities of your office.
Laura, as Vice President-elect, your record of accomplishment indicates you have those qualities of leadership which we should all possess. You are to continue to assist the President in directing the meetings and keep all committees working effectively.
Amanda, as Secretary-elect, you have been chosen to keep accurate minutes of our meetings and to carry on the chapter correspondence. You will provide the chapter with the order of business and committee assignments for each meeting. You will also keep a list of all members and a record of degree awards and have custody of the Constitution and bylaws.
Josephine, as Treasurer-elect, your duty is to keep an accurate record of receipts and disbursements and to provide regular financial supports. It is also your responsibility to assist in developing the chapter budget and maintaining sound financial practices.
Jenny, as reporter-elect, your duty is to inform the public about the FFA. You are expected to work closely with the news media, including state and national FFA publications. You should keep a record of photographs and articles published concerning the FFA and its members, and are responsible for the compiling of our FFA history.
Megan, as Sentinel-elect, you will welcome our friends, care for the meeting rooms and FFA equipment, and provide comfort to our members and guests. It is also your duty to assist in conducting meetings and ceremonies.
Kyra, as officer at large elect, your duties are to take place of any absent officer. You will work to assist the chapter when any need arises.
Cameron, as parliamentarian-elect, you are to keep a working knowledge of Robert's Rules of Order. Your duties are to inform the membership of the proper parliamentary procedure and make sure that the meetings and official functions are run accordingly.
We welcome the new officer team and look forward to an exciting new year in the Forest Lake FFA chapter. It is an honor to be an officer in the FFA. From time to time during the year, you may encounter difficult problems, but through cooperation, hard work, and dedication, you will succeed and the FFA will prosper. Does each of you accept the responsibilities of your office, and will you do your best to uphold the ideals and principles of the FFA? If so, answer, we do. I now declare each of you properly and duly installed into the respective office to which you were elected. May your year of service be marked by integrity, dedication, and a cooperative spirit. Seek harmony among your fellow officers and set high standards of leadership for all chapter members. Congratulations.
Well, first, on behalf of Mrs. Ward, Mrs. Tozel, and all the students here, we really want to thank each of you for your support of the program, whether you're a parent or a family member, community member, alumni. You all contribute in a very special way to the success of these young people. And I hope as you watch them this evening, you too take great pride in what they're able to accomplish and what they represent. We want to take a look back at the year that was and some of our activities. And as we do that, it's easy to see tonight, or maybe all the success that can be had. But success and recognition isn't necessarily measured by awards. And while it's fun to do that here this evening, school really is about learning something each day. And I want all of the members to know that I too learn something from you each day. And those lessons make me better as well. And so we can look back at some of the activities where we've all learned and where we've all grown together to represent that family that Rachel described so well here just a second ago. And if you know of other people, whether you're a community member or a parent or a student, if you know of other people who should become involved in this organization that you think will also benefit from the FFA, we sure hope that you'll send them our way because we would love to put them in a blue jacket as well and be here next year celebrating with us.
Madam Secretary, do you have a record of any further business which should now be transacted?
I have one announcement. Would all members please gather in the back of the auditorium for a group photo immediately after adjournment?
Does any member have a record of any new or unfinished business which should properly come before this meeting? We're about to adjourn the 78th banquet of the Forest Lake FFA chapter. As we mingle with others, let us be diligent in labor, just in our dealing, courteous to everyone, and above all, honest and fair in the game of life. Fellow members and guests, please join me in a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I now declare this banquet adjourned.